This supermarket is tempting its customers with deep purple-coloured carrots. First grown in the Middle and Far East, carrots were originally white, purple, red, yellow, green, and even black, but never orange. The Islaham Fresh Produce Company in Ely, Cambridgeshire is growing the purple produce. And like the supermarket, they are hoping they will be a commercial success. The purple carrots are sweeter in taste than their orange counterparts, but for some shoppers, it's all about looks. The supermarket hopes to offer a rainbow-coloured bunch later, well, sometime in the future. The eye on the city. These surveillance screens show the output of some 400 cameras throughout the Manchester City area and national car park centres. It was the idea of local authorities to try to make the city as crime-free as possible leading up to the Commonwealth Games. The whole scheme is costing more than £3 million, but police believe it is money well spent. Car parks are particularly vulnerable. They are also being monitored not just for watching, but to help operate barriers. It frees up patrolmen to wander around and protect customers and look after the car park. Also monitor and audit equipment to make sure there is no theft from the machines. City authorities want a tourist stay to be a safe one.
More than 170 million people worldwide are infected with hepatitis C, a potentially fatal blood-borne illness that most people don't even know they have. Unlike hepatitis A and B, there is no vaccine for hepatitis C, and the treatment is expensive with powerful side effects. But now there's a new potential treatment in development, a drug compound designed to block an enzyme known as protease, which the hepatitis virus needs to reproduce itself. Dr. Abril Shurka of Washington Hospital Center in Washington, D.C. says that blocking protease prevents the virus from assembling itself into an infectious disease. Protease inhibitors have been effective in treating AIDS, and companies have been trying to develop one for hepatitis C for years. Currently, hepatitis C sufferers are treated with a combination of interferon and ribavirin treatments. The virus causes liver inflammation, cancer and failure. No data on the treatment's effectiveness in animals has been released yet, but researchers say they expect to have some data after human testing of the compound.
Poplar trees are a good source of fuel. They can be grown, chipped and burned to generate electricity. And unlike oil and coal, they grow again, and fast. Scientists here at Southampton University in southern England are studying poplar trees to find out how they grow so much faster than other trees. Nathaniel Street, a researcher in the Plants and Environment Laboratory, says burning fast-growing poplar trees instead of fossil fuels to generate electricity could be a way of reducing emissions of the greenhouse gas carbon dioxide. Using the database of 13,000 poplar tree genes so far identified, researchers across Europe are looking for the genetic factors that control the growth and other characteristics of the poplar tree. The best trees, fast-growing, good at soaking up carbon and resistant to disease, could then be selected by growers. The School of Biological Sciences at Southampton is coordinating the project. If it works, this would be a useful example of biotechnology being harnessed to promote environmental sustainability.
A natural and typical farmyard scene, but it could be a thing of the past. Many of Britain's rarest farm animals like these shorthorn cattle are under threat. The Rare Breed Survival Trust is worried. It's launched an appeal for a national gene bank to save Britain's livestock heritage. Cruckley Farm in rural East Yorkshire is a working family farm dedicated to rare breeds. Breeds like this Old English ox and the delightful, almost aristocratic white park cattle, a relic of old British native cattle, thought to have been brought to Britain by the Romans. John Johnson and his wife Sue run the farm. A former vet, he's committed to preserving Britain's rare breed. He sees them as the key to the future. Grey-faced Dartmoor sheep need looking after. 8% have been lost to foot and mouth. The planned gene bank, which has the support of the Prince of Wales, could ensure their survival. Descendants of these animals can be seen all over the world. They're part of Britain's heritage.
Rush hour traffic in major cities is a real concern to urban planners, traffic controllers, environmentalists and commuters. Increasing number of vehicles means higher levels of fuel emissions. The company Azure Dynamics, in collaboration with London Taxis International, believe they have the answer. A hybrid fuel vehicle that can automatically switch between power sources to ensure the most correct balance of fuel efficiency and performance. The hybrid taxis, 3 of them, have started their trials in London and, according to its developers, have demonstrated significant vehicle emission reductions of hydrocarbons, carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxides. Azure Dynamics say the experimental vehicle either matches or in some cases actually improves the acceleration rates of present London taxis while still keeping a top speed of 65 miles per hour. The demonstrator taxis will be evaluated in London to see how they perform in both peak and off-peak conditions. Both Azure Dynamics and London Taxis International are confident this model can be kept within present competitive prices, and they eventually hope to adapt the hybrid across a broader range of commercial vehicles. They also hope to offer this to distribution partners worldwide. One way of making the plight of rare animals known is to show these 4 Manul kittens, and they've made their first public appearance at Berlin's Friedewald Zoo. The kittens, 1 male and 3 females, have feisty personalities, and here they are being presented to the press and the public. Manul cats are at home in the mountains between Afghanistan and Mongolia. The cats have the longest and thickest fur of any cat species, and can grow to a size of 50 to 65 centimetres, in addition to the tail of between 20 to 30 centimetres. Adult cats can weigh up to 3.5 kilograms. In the wild, these cats are often hunted for their fur, which is used to make warm clothing. Petra Zroda, a zookeeper, said the cats have been able to adapt to their harsh environment in the mountains of Asia. She says they lead a very hidden life, because you must remember that in the summer it is very warm and then bitterly cold in the winter. These are small cats which must survive in a continental climate where the temperature can drop to 50 degrees below freezing. For these cats, their whole life revolves around surviving in the harsh conditions. They hunt in spring and fall because there is a lot of prey, but the colder it gets, the fewer rodents there are, and the less the cats eat. These 4 kittens will remain with both of their parents in the zoo for the time being. And when they are old and mature enough, they will be sent to other zoos as part of a feline breeding program.
Ja, dann wird nattig.
Aber ich denke mal, das war gut jetzt als Abschluss.
Although still not a major player in the manufacturing of the latest in high-tech motor vehicles, China is advancing very rapidly. Here Beijing hosts an auto show extravaganza despite fears of a slowdown in China's booming economy and a drop-off in car sales. The extravaganza showcase multinational brands ranging from the super luxurious Lamborghini, Bentley and Rolls-Royce to more practical and less expensive offers from Toyota and General Motors. China's voracious appetite for cars has multinational brands unveiling plans to pump some $13 billion to produce some 6 million cars annually in China over the coming years. Their enthusiastic investment in China's automobile industry has prompted fears of lesser profits for the industry. But for market leader, German auto giant Volkswagen, that doesn't seem to be much of a worry. Despite sluggish auto sales, visitors at the exhibition say they still want to buy their dream cars. Some Chinese consumers have been holding back in anticipation of how prices would be affected by the launch of some 30 to 40 new cars at the auto show. After announcing a further $3 billion investment in China, General Motors' China chief said slowing sales was just a temporary dip in the road. China has a massively growing number of households moving into a purchasing power range of $3,000 to $4,000 a year, which historically around the world has been the jump-off point for an automotive vehicle. GM is planning to double production in China to 1.3 million units by 2007, putting it within striking distance of arch-rival Volkswagen AG. China's government is taking steps to cool an economy which grew 9.8% in the first quarter recently, reining in lending to sectors it sees overheating, such as real estate, steel and cement. This has had a knock-on effect on car sales, as banks also scale back lending to fund auto purchases. But slowing sales and falling prices are nothing to worry about, with only 8 vehicles per 1,000 people of driving age in China, compared with 122 in Brazil and 940 in the United States. Prices have been coming down probably 10% a year, and prices are going to keep coming down according to experts. Analysts say China's car makers are in danger of cranking out more vehicles than they can sell. This will drive prices down, as has happened in more mature markets. The colour contrast could not be more striking between these rare mares and their offspring. 3 foals, 1 colt and 2 fillies were born, raising the number of Camargues at Valley Farm to 17. Camargues are native to the salt marshlands of France's Rhone Delta, but these ones in Britain are being bred for their hardiness, versatility and enthusiasm to work with children and young riders. Their versatility is what's needed at this riding school. They need a sort of medium-sized horse that does all the different activities such as Western-style riding, side saddle and carriage driving. And they are easy to train.
They're either black or
These horses are also good-looking to boot. The young foals will eventually turn colour as they get older.
lose the coat until they end up white like their mothers.
The first of these horses was brought from France in 1991, and the herd is still growing, a British extension to an animal whose history goes as far back as the Roman days, Napoleon's cavalry, and construction of the Suez Canal in the 1860s. In a quiet corner of West London, a former Christian chapel is home to devotees of a modern-day religion. Seymour Powell is one of the world's top design consultancies dedicated to the cause of radical product innovation. It was a mutual passion for creating things that led the Royal College of Art graduates Richard Seymour and Dick Powell to set up in business together. The company is driven by the belief that design is about making things better. 17 years and 300 or 400 products later, their award-winning innovative designs range from cameras to cars to computers. They even make ordinary products a pleasure to own and use. A big part of Seymour Powell's work is in the generation of new products, but the company also strays into the field of management consultancy. Design, they say, can be a powerful strategic tool for senior managers. Seymour Powell helped the Design Council promote British design. They say the British are good at combining the practical with great leaps of creative thought. They say Britain is amazingly conducive to creative thinking, and when you try and get under the skin of why that is, there's lots of different reasons. The Brits are very active in all creative endeavour, from rock music to multimedia to design, and all of these other things. As a breed, they have a tendency to question things, to rail against the status quo, and say, you know, I want to do something else. Nowhere was that more in evidence than at the Great Expectations exhibition in New York's Central Station. This was the largest design exhibition of its kind, featuring 100 innovative new British products and services. Organised by the Design Council, it sought to persuade American business that Britain leads the field when it comes to design. The Design Council promotes design in every area of British life. Its simple message is that good design sells better and improves our lives both in terms of the products we use every day and by adding to economic wealth and prosperity. Design Council Chief Executive Andrew Summers says there's a direct correlation between companies that regard design as strategically important and success. "80% of the cost of a product during its lifetime is determined at the design stage. If design is an issue early enough, it will save money later on." The Aroma Company has taken the Design Council philosophy to heart. The company develops fragrances from essential oils or copies of natural chemicals. Their award-winning Aroma Box help companies promote products through tailor-made fragrances such as the smell of freshly baked bread or car seat leather. Smell is a powerful communications tool. Aroma's latest product is the Pop Aroma, developed in conjunction with a design consultant. The design process involved lengthy consultation with several companies. The result was a product beneficial to manufacturers of household fragrances and their customers, allowing shoppers to sample before they buy. Simon Harrop says that design was the key to turning a middle-of-the-night inspirational idea into a successful product. The Design Council's influence is everywhere. These jewellery students at Sheffield's Hallam University are taking part in the Council's Design Against Crime initiative. Amongst things they've designed is a brooch, useful for women who fear attack. Detachable silicon pods, sound an alarm. An idea developed by industrial design graduate Peter Walters for presenting multi-item shoplifting has attracted attention from the local crime prevention unit. His clothes rail thwarts criminals and makes the display more presentable as well. The student's brief is to embed crime prevention within everyday design. These packaging design students are working on a screwdriver. Its large handle prevents it from being secreted in a pocket, and other details prevent violent use. Their tutor says they have to combine practical skills with passion, hand and heart. Hundreds of visitors were at the Royal Observatory in Greenwich to witness the transit of Venus, a major astronomical event. This is the first time in over 100 years that the planet Venus has passed directly between the Earth and the Sun. Experts say it's a major event. It happens twice a century at best, and the last one was over 120 years ago. Queen Victoria was on the throne. Electric light had only just been invented. Despite the fact that most of the scientific research using planets in terms of time and measuring distance were completed in the 17th and 18th century, this observation may help find life in space. Using special glasses or items they'd made or bought, visitors came from all over the world to get a glimpse of the transit of Venus. One man had planned coming to Greenwich from Michigan in the US years ago to ensure he didn't miss the event. Hundreds came in to observe the event, proving there is interest in space science. For those in Greenwich to see the transit of Venus, it was an opportunity to see a moment in history and observe something that may not reappear again. A giant diplodocus fills the entrance of London's Natural History Museum to mark a new look at some of the world's teeniest creatures. This exhibition takes tiny creatures and blows them up to human size using modern scientific methods. Those behind it say it's bringing art and science together. Giles Revell explores the natural engineering of insects and their sculptural form using electron microscopy. He chooses such items as woodlice and magnifies their features to make high-resolution images. He hopes they give viewers a different view of the mundane. Mark Fennington creates paintings of bizarre and exotic insects. Using high-definition electron microscopes, he captures the minute details of the specimen by photography, before reinterpreting and reinventing it with paint on huge canvases. He feels the images will open up the mind. Fabulous Beasts explores the world of tiny creatures through giant images and hopes more people will learn more about these everyday creatures. Allergy UK was set up in 1991 to answer queries from sufferers of allergies across Britain. But now the charity is struggling to cope with a flood of requests for information from across the world on the cause and management of allergy. Chief Executive Muriel Simmons says this spiralling demand for information mirrors a steady rise in allergy. She says nobody quite knows why. There is a European research project which has been formed to look into this. It's estimated that by 2015, 50% of Europe will be allergic. Sufferers from allergy around the world can now log on to the Allergy UK website, take an interactive tour of a typical house which offers warnings on common household allergens and ways to minimise risk of having a reaction. Detecting sensitivity to a whole variety of allergens can be done by a skin test, and a treatment called desensitisation can cure the problem. But for most people, finding and avoiding the cause of the allergy still looks the best bet. Brussels Eureka is an annual meeting of leading specialists in research, creators of new technology, technology transfer professionals, and official bodies that register applications for patents, trademarks, and models. It brings together about 800 participants from 40 countries and showcases more than 1,200 innovations and inventions, both patented and unprecedented. The former East Bloc is well represented with 200 inventions from Russia and several hundreds from Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary, Croatia and Poland. This World Fair is organised by the Belgian Chamber of Inventors. Confronted with a high number of pedestrians' casualties, Tony Cavalieri decided to do something about it. Given the fact that a lack of visibility at night is one of the biggest factors for motorists driving over pedestrians, Tony Cavalieri thought that a flash of light could help overcome this danger. He set up a zebra crossing with light panels in the road surface that only light up when a pedestrian is about to cross the road. This happens through photocells that detect a pedestrian. According to the inventor, the sudden illumination of the zebra crossing triggers a reflex with motorists to slow down. Pilot tests have been conducted in Belgium, as well as in France, the Netherlands, and the United States. Belgian inventor Jean de Cassel says his invention transforms a glass surface into a hydrophobic surface, so that water droplets have no grip at all on the surface. Water then skates over the glass and quickly evacuates due to the action of air turbulence on a windscreen, keeping it perfectly transparent. With this invention, gone is the scary possibility of losing visibility when you overtake a lorry in heavy rainfall. The inventor claims that overall visibility is much improved and the distances are better assessed, thus making driving in heavy weather much safer. Cars and drivers from all over the planet took part in this World Solar Challenge, showcasing cars running on nothing more than the power of the sun's rays. The technology behind these cars is advancing each year as the teams try to use the very latest in solar cell designs, along with advances in efficiently using the available power. The World Solar Challenge is designed to promote research and development into harnessing solar energy for future transport. It was staged for the first time in 1987, when the average racing speed was 67 kilometers per hour. This time, the fastest trial performer, M35 from University of Michigan in United States shot up to 112.5 kilometers per hour. Sky-Ace Tiger from Japan's Ashita University pushed itself up to 107.5 kilometers per hour. "38 solar-powered cars took off from Darwin in north-central Australia. The first cars were expected to arrive in Adelaide in less than 5 days after leaving with the main body not far behind. The challenge includes old and new teams, veterans such as Australia's Desert Rose part, as well as Mad Dog 2 from the United Kingdom, Helios from France, and America's Solar Motions. There was a team from the Netherlands who used space technology to try and give them the extra edge. The advances of converting the sun's light into electricity are by being able to store it and use it more efficiently. Much of the technology will find its way into future motor vehicles as the world's dependence on petroleum-based products declines. We're still a long way from driving a solar-powered car, as there are still many practical difficulties to overcome. One of the more serious is the lack of usable sunshine in countries during winter. However, back in the southern climes of the Australian outback, if sun is not the issue. The competition heats up amongst the teams, and race strategy, with the help from the space technology, helped the Dutch team to get to a strong early start. It didn't take Baby Ferrari long to settle into life with his family at Sydney's Wagga Zoo. Still a little unsteady on his feet, but Ferrari was hanging about with his mother Cooper in the sunshine. Taronga has 16 chimpanzees. Fifi is the oldest at 54 years. She's the most respected female of the group, having raised 10 young of her own. Chimpanzees are known to be our closest living relatives. Like us, chimpanzees communicate through gestures and facial expressions. Chimpanzees are intelligent animals that use tools to obtain food and teamwork tactics to hunt prey. Chimpanzees are led by a dominant male, or in some cases, a dominant female. groups travel in the day and build nests to stay in at night. Could be a scene from a science fiction movie. Thin laser beams in the pale face of a man stuck in an oval wooden hole, eyes blinking at a furious rate. But Tom Cruise is unlikely to show up in the scene to rescue his human guinea pig. This futuristic scene is being played out in a central lab at the Technion, Israel's Institute of Technology. And the scientist and guinea pig are brothers, Alex and Michael Bronstein. Twin brothers, they are identical twins. Their project, which began partly as a joke, is to create a machine to tell them apart. Alex and Michael, electrical engineering students at the Technion, filed an international patent in the United States. The patent is for a three-dimensional face recognition system. The brothers, from Russia in the early 1990s, came up with a model so accurate it could tell them apart. The brothers developed a technology for mapping three-dimensional sensor that records the topography of a person's face. This is done by scanning the face with a series of light patterns. Next, the information is stored as a three-dimensional image onto a computer using a program of the twin and Professor Kimmel. Employing mathematical algorithms similar to those used in conducting search across the internet, the technology then measures the curved distances between a number of sample points on the facial surface. The distances between the points are reconfigured as straight lines in a three-dimensional space, creating a new abstract image or signature of a face built on mathematical calculations. The Bronstein brothers say this signature is unique to every individual if you are a twin. The twins are still in the process of developing the commercial model of this system. Companies have already shown interest in the system, but for the time being, the twins complete their master's degree and continue studying. For all the science, advanced mathematics and futuristic physics, the brothers, who spend most of their time together, sound fairly casual about the whole thing. They're quite the average. A pedal-powered washing machine aimed at easing the burden on people in developing countries was unveiled in Melbourne. The washing machine was developed by Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology engineering students David Che and Michael Tu as their final-year project. Designed to contribute to global sustainability, the machine uses cheap, durable materials and can be manufactured for as little as $30 US. Its design also means it is easily serviced. RIT's Executive Director for Global Sustainability, Tricia Caswell, says they need to get someone who will look at the machine, define it, and talk to some of the communities about their needs to make sure it's appropriate. And then, they manufacture it. Volcanoes have played an enormous part in the creation of the Earth's land masses, but their ability to destroy makes them feared by many. In Mexico, one group of people live in the shadow of the country's largest active volcano, and every year gather to honor it with offerings of fruit, tequila, and firecrackers. The farmers trudge through heavy volcanic ash and rough rock-filled terrain for 5 hours to reach a small cave located 1 kilometer from the Popocatépetl volcano, also known among Mexicans as Popo or Don Goyo. Located some 12 kilometers from the volcano, Santiago Jalitzitla is the closest town to Popo. Residents live with daily reminders of the proximity, feeling tremors, exhalations and explosions as Don Goyo acts up. The farmers express their respect and veneration for the strength of the volcano, the annual ceremony of homage. The farmers play indigenous music and carry offerings of food, drink and flowers to the small cave located near the volcano. They also present Popo with gifts of a Mexican hat, a poncho and shoes. The ceremony continues with songs, firecrackers and prayers. The Popo volcano often shows signs of activity. On December 21, 2000, Popo erupted, forcing some 30,000 nearby residents to evacuate. "500 years after it was designed by the Italian Renaissance artist Leonardo da Vinci, a new bridge spanned the highway between Stockholm and Oslo. Despite pouring rain, hundreds of people gathered at the opening ceremony of the new bridge. A torchlight procession went over the bridge, and a special prayer was said by the Greek Orthodox Father Johannes. This project has intrigued architects for 40 years since the design was unearthed by scholars. In 1995, an artist saw an exhibition of designs which had been rediscovered in a set of Leonardo's documents in the late 1950s. They included the tiny drawing of a pressed bow bridge, and the artist was fascinated by the eternal beauty of the design. He took the project to Norway's Transportation Ministry, which approved the construction of a 100-metre-long, scaled-down version of the bridge. The original Vinci design was a stunning 240-metre stone structure that was supposed to span the Golden Horn, a strategic inlet leading to Istanbul. But the technology was not yet there to complete it, and then Ottoman ruler Sultan Bayezid II ordered the project to be abandoned. Today, the scaled-down version of the bridge rises over the E18 highway between Oslo and Stockholm. Queen Sonja of Norway was among the first to walk over the bridge after it was unveiled. To look at the bridge, it's amazing to see that it was designed 500 years ago. The inventors had to build a Leonardo-style bridge on every continent. At Schiphol Airport in the Netherlands, waiting in line for custom controls might gradually belong to the past. To step up security and efficiency, airport officials have installed an identification system that verifies the identity of passengers, scanning the iris. With this system, the Dutch airport has become the first airport in the world to use iris recognition for border passing. The system is considered foolproof because the human iris, the coloured ring around the pupil, is unique even among identical twins. Compared to other forms of biometric identification, such as finger or handprint, the iris scan is the most reliable one because the structure hardly ever changes, while a small wound on the finger could already hamper recognition. Located next to the conventional custom control, the premium system will be used on a voluntary basis to start with. To take advantage of automatic check, passengers must have their iris scanned and details stored in a card-sized smart card to carry with them. Once that is done, checking and clearing passport control becomes simple and fast. Passengers only need to insert the smart card in a machine and look into a camera for a fresh photo of their eye. Within seconds, the system then compares the photo with the data stored on the smart card. When details match, admission is granted. Since the September 11 attack on the United States, security has become more urgent around airports. This will very much improve safety because you will have a full check via the iris on the chip, and that implies whether a person has a valid passport.
They stalk their prey through the extreme environments of ice, tropical jungle, desert and ocean, lying in wait for their moment, and they are just the photographers. With a click of a button, years of practice, research, artistic vision and patience can come together to create enduring images of our natural world. The Wildlife Photographer of the Year competition is one of the biggest ever, with over 20,000 entries from over 60 countries all over the world. Winners were announced in 12 categories in all. The overall winner of the competition was Gerhard Schultz of Germany, whose photograph, Gorilla and Boy, depicting two primates lost in thought, allows the viewer to draw his own conclusions. The Wildlife Photographer of the Year exhibition displays all 109 winning and highly commended images from the competition.
The size of the hole in the ozone layer over the Antarctic has once again expanded, covering an area larger than North America, according to the World Meteorological Organization. According to UN scientists, colder than average temperatures widened the protective ozone layer known as the ozone hole. The expansion of the layer exposes populated areas in South America to ultraviolet rays, which would normally be absorbed by ozone. The radiation can cause skin cancer, cataracts, and harm marine life. Scientists first sounded the alarm about the hole in the ozone layer in 1985, triggering an international campaign to reduce the world's use of certain man-made chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, which were blamed for destroying the ozone layer. According to the United Nations Environment Programme, consumption of CFCs, commonly used as propellants in spray cans, dropped from 1.1 million tonnes in 1986 to 110,000 tonnes in 2001. The WMO said that the wider hole in 2003 did not point to any increase in the amount of ozone-depleting chemicals in the atmosphere, but rather was a reflection of changes in weather conditions over the Antarctic.
For patients with liver cancer, treatment often means painful abdominal surgeries, but the use of radiofrequency ablation is proving to be a successful alternative to surgery and far less invasive. During the procedure, doctors insert a probe through a small incision in the skin to the tumour site. Cancerous cells are then actually burned away by radio wave energy through tiny needles inside the probe, leaving the surrounding healthy tissue largely untouched. A handful of doctors have also begun using the technique to treat cancers of the kidney, lung and bones. For patients who are no longer candidates for surgery, this treatment is giving them a new chance for survival.